poetry, radio, verse. It's all about the D. Desire, discipline, dedication. I know what you were thinking, savages, but that ain't it. Let's go.
Hi, this is Elena Zubanov. Awakening starts with you, within you.
Hey, this is Suga. When you write, I think it comes from soul and spirit.
Welcome, welcome, and welcome. I am James Hamilton, and this is Versed, your home for poetry on the radio. We're coming to you, as always, from the hub of Midwest Poetry, the WBOM full-service radio studios located inside the basement of the Mendelssohn Center for the Performing Arts in Rockford, Illinois. Before I get to our guests, let's acknowledge the regular souls we have in the studio, our Versed team, my co-host, confident friend, wingman, producer, and certified cultural icon, Paul Savvy Magoo Goddard. How we doing today, Paul?
I am, as the English say, chuffed.
Chuffed.
Nobody knows what to do with that. It's like dead silence.
No, I was gonna ask, so what does it mean?
Yep.
Can you,
Note to
explain?
Self, Google chuffed.
Hope it means what I thought it meant.
On the soundboard, we have Rachel, the two E's, everybody, engineer. How we doing today, Rachel? She is muted.
That's within your control, Rachel.
Hello, hello, hello. Before I get to the guests that we have in the studio, I want to let them know. I curate the guests every week on the show. We bring two poets in, or artists, poets, musicians, and there is a common thread between the two guests that we have on the show today. Now, I'm going to preclude that by telling you that I cooked it up inside my own head. So,
Okay. Think about that.
So it could make total sense, or it could be total horseshit. I don't know. But I don't even know. In fact, maybe right now I don't even remember what it was. But keep it in mind, because we'll revisit it toward the end of the show, and we'll give you a guess at it. Most people don't get it.
I always get it wrong.
You do. And sometimes I tell you at breakfast. It is my pleasure to introduce this week's Versed guest. First of all, from Rockford, Illinois, we have Sugar. Did I say it right?
It's Suga.
All right.
Suga.
And then we have Elena Zubanov.
Yep, that's right.
Are you Rockford or are you Rochelle?
Rockford, yeah,
Double Rockford, Illinois.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like the only one today that doesn't permanently live in Rockford.
Uh-oh.
No, you're not permanent. You've got
No.
temporary resident status.
Right. For Verse listeners that don't know, they wheel me into a broom closet at the Mendelssohn Center for the Performing Arts for about 4 months out of the year. I spend about 2 months out of the year at the Blue Box, which is the Poets Clubhouse. Yeah, and the rest of the time, I am a resident of Earth. Resident of planet Earth. All right. We do not do bios on here because that would mean I'd have to do research, and I really don't like working. I'm just gonna say.
Baloney.
Okay.
And honestly, you guys know yourselves better than anybody else knows you. We're all about authenticity, artistic authenticity on the show. And you can do you better than anybody can do you. So I'm going to allow you guys each a little bit of time just to talk about yourself, what you do, your art, pretty much whatever you want to. I'm going to start with you, Sugar, and then we'll go over to Elena afterwards.
Ooh, you want to start with me? I mean, I have a host of everything I do. Art in its whole is my soul. At my late 39 years of age, I'm just trying to get back into the art scene and get away from corporate America, which, that means leaving the financial services, not behind, but to the side.
Wait, that means leaving your Harvard education behind?
No, I'm definitely sticking with it.
Okay.
I'm sticking with it. So I took the semester off. I actually took a year off at Harvard. I started late in my life. I decided to raise my daughter. And then I was like, hey, there's no way in the hell she can get a degree before me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I started. She's finishing. So I started, and we'll be hopefully getting degrees together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is she studying?
She is graduating high school this semester.
Oh, okay.
So I'm studying, of course, finance. I've had my own financial services business since 2017.
Nice.
That I started in Memphis, Tennessee.
Did I hear you say you're going to have trouble finishing? Because I've heard your poetry. You know, you recited some, and from what I heard, you didn't have any trouble finishing.
No.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
No
I
no
had to
trouble
throw that out
finishing.
there.
That was
No.
a pregnant statement.
It was a pregnant. You know, I
Yeah.
planned on that one for a while.
He was
trying to share
he was
it.
waiting on that one.
I was.
We have no troubles finishing. We finish strong around here.
We finished
Wow.
strong.
Wow.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. I don't know that we have had anyone that has done any erotic type poetry on the show before, but today
She did.
we do.
Yes, some
Well,
little
I wanna hear
sweet
it.
and
See,
savory.
I don't have the benefit
I
of
wanna-
having heard anybody's poetry before I come.
Where
in.
can
I
we?
stay out in the green room.
Where
with
can
the
we
other-
see your? Like, do you
with
have
the
a
other
book
guests.
published or?
So I don't, you just heard me say I'm new, basically
yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah.
the scene. I've written
Yes.
poetry all of my life. I performed back in high school, Auburn Nights, Miss Lady Night,
A night.
04. So that was the first time I ever performed live on stage. And then, back in October of 25 is when I started again. So 21 years later.
So art basically your first love.
Yeah, it's my first live. So I'm, at Sheila's every other Wednesday.
Interesting.
And then
Snaps and laughs.
Snaps and Laughs. And I've done a few other sets, but I'm really trying to get back into it. It's my heart.
Beautiful.
Art is my heart.
Beautiful. Elena, tell us a little bit about you, what you do in your book.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be short. Like, I'm not gonna be like, I can talk about myself, for days. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, please.
Okay. Well, my story, like, I came to United States about 25 years ago, a little bit more than 25. Yeah, I was born in Ukraine. Then my parents, they basically moved to Russia, and then I immigrated to United States by myself. Well, with my husband. And even though I started working, I do have education in, like, my background is fashion design. And I don't know if it's my first love, right in between fashion design. I think it's like 50-50, I would say. But I do love fashion. I was like best in school for it. I was always creating things, like probably if I would not move to United States, I probably would be some like local fashion, like famous designer or something.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
So
No,
the
seriously.
U.S. is holding your back.
Yeah,
Is what I heard, right? Yeah, okay. All right.
No,
But you
what-
have designs you're marketing now.
Yes.
That's nice.
We'll go to that. But
Okay.
yeah, but you know what? When I came to United States, if I knew English right away, I probably would continue with the fashion design. But when I came to US with like in my early 20s, I did not speak any English. So I had to actually start from scratch, that was very tough. It was like tough because I felt like every day I woke up and I'm like, okay, what do? I do not understand anything. People are saying something to me in the market store and I'm like, yeah, but I could not
Like,
understand
no.
anything,
Right.
So
Just smile, right?
yeah, I
Just
did smile
That's
because
it.
I've learned in United States, no matter what, if you smile, everything is good,
Right.
Yeah.
So, interesting
So-
you bring up fashion. We had our first guest of this season 2. We're in episode 4 now. But our first guest of season 2, our second guest in episode 3 was Cyrus the Taino. And the common thread for that day was between Cyrus and Paul Savvy Magoo Goddard, our co-host, because they were both super stylish. Paul is our resident fashion plate now.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna have to interrupt. And, Elena, I'm sorry to telling this story. One of the first times I met Elena was at an open mic, and she gave me a ride back to the Blue Box.
Yeah.
And we get in the car, and very solicitously, very helpfully, she says to me in the kindest way, she kind of looks at me and says, I was in the fashion industry. She says, I could help you with fashion.
Oh, seriously, I don't.
It was a
was me.
wonderful moment. I love it. It was a wonderful moment.
I don't remember that, seriously.
I mean, your coat is gorgeous. Did you create that?
No.
No?
She has another jacket she's marketing right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry. Like, seriously,
it was lovely. It was beautiful. You were trying to help me out.
So, Sugar, you just started writing again.
Yes.
But you started when you were way younger.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since I could pick up a pen, I would write on the wall or write on people. So, ever since I was a little girl.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Elena, when we were recording pieces, you had mentioned, so your book is in front of you there. You had
Yep.
pulled it out. The Mind of a Romantic
Yep.
is what it's called.
Yes.
Written by you, Elena Zubanov, and tell us who Christina Puza, because I thought it was a really great story the way that you explained it to Rachel, the engineer, and I when you were reading your poetry before. Tell us who Christina Puzin is and what influence and part she played in the book.
Yes, of course. So Christina is my daughter, and she's my inspiration. She's my everything. I can go on and on about what she did in my life. For me particularly, because every day when I wake up, like my thought is, God, what did I do to deserve a child like that? Seriously. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, we all have our ups and downs, our flaws. She does have them too, but she's amazing, and ever since she was 7 years old, I've tried to support her in everything that she liked to do. She was in theater, she was in talent shows, she was doing TV and film. I was in short movies with her, like background. We started with that. But then at some point when she was like close to 17, so pretty much like from 7 to 17, I was like her manager. I've helped with everything. Yeah. I drove her to anywhere that needed to be. I was there for her. And but then about when she turned 17, she said, "Mom, you know what? You've done so much. You've helped me so much, but I think you should do something that you enjoy." And I did enjoy writing too. I mean, fashion, yes, I've loved that ever since I was little. But I did enjoy writing. And she said, "Why don't we collaborate? I will just see what you have, like write your thoughts, like whatever you want. Just take a pen, a piece of paper and start writing. And I'll come and meet you in the middle somewhere." So I started writing. Little by little, it took me about a year or so. And then she's like, "Mom, maybe I can just illustrate some of your poetry." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I gave her a couple of poetries and she made illustrations. And I'm like, "Yeah, I like it.
Wonderful.
Let's do like the whole book like that,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how our book came about. So it took us a little bit more than a year with the publishing company and everything. And then now it's done and we're proud of it, very proud.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So I think I bought my copy up at Top Cut Comics in Loves Park.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen it on Amazon.
Yeah, Christina and I, we do have our book. Right now, it's like close to 25 platforms like Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart.com, like a lot. And also we're trying to get our book to a lot of stores as well. We work in Rockford, Wisconsin, and we want to do Chicago as well. Like that's our next goal, to cover every bookstore that we can, in Chicago.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah.
Definitely talk to me after the show. I've got a list that we put together, especially up in like the Milwaukee area.
For sure, yeah.
So we like to talk about creative process and how we do things, how us artists do things on the show. So we're going to go inside the artists a little bit. And I want to ask you a question for both of you. I'm going to go to Sugar first and then Elena afterwards. Life gets loud, right? Gets
Yes.
very loud. I get loud, but life gets really loud. When it does, what keeps you rooted in your art? What keeps you creating?
Life actually keeps me creating. Life is everything I write is inspired by something that happened in my life. Yeah, like all of it. I don't think I've written anything that was just off the whim, not related to what happened to me or what I've done or to happen to somebody else, what I created. But every piece that I wrote is based off of life. Mm-hmm. So, yep, the loudness of it is just putting on paper.
So the noise is inspiration for you.
The noise is inspiration for me.
Interesting. Elena?
Me personally, when I go something in my life, well, like you said, yes, of course, life experience and everything. But to me, even the reason why I started writing, because I started coming and looking at my life at a different angle, because I was married for over, it's going to be close to 30 years, actually.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I got married when I was 18.
Wow.
At some point of my life, I felt like I wasn't living the life that I wanted to, because getting married at 18, maybe a lot of us would just, we get married, but we're not fully understanding, comprehending
Right.
like what we're doing. That was my life too. I got married. I did love my husband and everything, but sometime in my life, I felt like maybe some of the issues that I have came across, maybe I didn't understand them well when I was 18, but now I understand more. And so that was actually one of the reasons why I started writing, because I wasn't satisfied with some things that I had in my life. And actually that was inspiration too. And like, I always felt like all of us, we talk about love a lot.
Yeah.
We say to someone, I love you, but what does it exactly mean to us? We
Right.
can be in love for maybe like a first month of our marriage, a year or so, or 5, or whoever. I mean, it depends on the person, but
Right.
then what's after that? So many things are not the same. So many
Yeah.
things are just dying. And so I guess when I started writing my poetry, to me, I still felt like it doesn't have to die, like we can
Yeah.
still have that spark, and it doesn't have to be like physical, because I think everything that comes within us, first it has to be spiritual, and I always say that, I always give an example of a circle, everything has to be in line, like spirituality, intimacy, how you emotionally in your life, where you emotionally in your life, all of that. And if something is missing, in your relationship or marriage or whatever, then that's when trouble starts.
Right.
And so to me, I guess when I started writing my book, I felt like if you're going to read my book, it's mostly like 80% about romantic love. So I feel you can be married a year, or you can be married for 30 years, but you still have to have that spark.
Yeah.
Not have to have, but I hope we can learn to have it. Because what's the purpose of life? Like, I always felt like life should not be just ordinary. You wake up, you eat, you go to work, you sleep, and it's like every day the same. I feel like life is so much more. It has to offer so much more to us. We just have to know
Yeah.
how to grab it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times we just forget how to grab it, and we just forget about it, and we just go about our ordinary lives. But actually, we should wake up. And I feel like awakening starts with you, within you. And then you can show it to your partner. You can show it to your kids. You can show it to your mom, dad. So, like it starts within you. And so I felt like this book, it was kind of that awakening within me, because I want to be in that stage, whether I fell in love at 18, and I still want to feel that, all of it. I'm 49, it's been 30 years since, but I'm still the same person on the inside. I feel like, yes, we are aging on the outside, but in our soul, we're still the same person. And if that's the case, then we should feed that same person somehow in the right way. Tailored to perfection. Who am I? You would ask me. What am I? You would question me. Am I just this body? Am I somebody? What's beneath this beautiful female suit? Will I ever be understood? What if I'll tell you I'm like a deep blue ocean full of emotion? I'm filled with a lot of power and love. I'm someone who has good heart and can love. My eyes are a perfect door to my spirit and soul. All you have to do is look, and you'll see it all.
Sugar, what does authenticity mean to you?
Man, I love everything Elena just said, because I'm going through that phase. I'm having to feed myself. So I shared with Paul earlier that I lost my mom last year in June. And in her sickness, she wanted me to be happy, be true to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes we chase the dreams of like me, I want to be a investor and, financial investment advisor, but the title didn't make me happy. I mean, we were searching for a title, but home is art. Inside of me is art. It's music. It's the lyrics. It's verbs. It's cooking. Yes.
So authenticity to you, would it be safe to say it is just, where was I going with that? I totally had
It's
an
home.
ADD moment.
Authenticity to me, it's home and being true to yourself.
True to yourself.
Yep, being true to yourself and not wavering from that. And I'm going back home. Yeah, I'm in that point in my life, so I get what Elena was saying. It's incredibly
You know where
deep.
home is. You know what home.
I know what home is. I know home is home because it's peace.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
peace. Have you ever been homeless? Not houseless, but have you ever been homeless? If you Google the term homelessness, you'll find the condition of lacking a stable, safe, and adequate place to live defines the homes that some of us have occupied at some points in our lives. Oblivious to the nature of the word, we walk around with our noses to the sky, looking down on the man or the woman standing near the curb, as if owning a 3,000 square foot house will protect us and keep us safe. Not realizing the true danger is right within the same space. Building a life that feels stable because the bills were paid on time, thanking God you were able to make another payment. But with each payment was a deduction of yourself, striving to live the American dream, letting your souls bond and intertwine. The first thing we do is add a king or a queen to the team, oftentimes producing a seed whose character resembles the very essence of your spirit. Expecting a love so pure, you vow to do and be anything for it, giving countless seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years, convinced within the walls of your home there will be no tears. And then the day comes when you begin to sit in the car just a little while longer, or the day you pray God makes you just a little bit stronger, finding strength to step into the space which floors now seem to be made of Fabergé. Too fragile to walk on, yet too expensive to leave and walk away. Then your mind tells you to just tread lightly, and you begin to fall asleep with the same stranger nightly. A space filled with joy and laughter, now encompassed by arguing, screaming, and the tormenting silence that comes after. Peace somehow finds its way only in the going, a void so distant that neither of you are even coming. Solace begins to appear only when an old friend is near. While the love in your home becomes unfamiliar and unwanted, you long for a love encapsulated in your memories, only to find that love in your dreams. You awake feeling tormented and taunted. Living in a house that's haunted, you used to flaunt it. Now you're like, yo, I don't even want it. Signing on the dotted line for the keys to the castle, hard work, 10 toes to the dirt. You now question, was it even worth the work? Arriving to the realization that a house is not a home when you feel all alone. And yes, you may stay and hope and pray it gets better, but for now it's a new congratulations. You're now the proud owners of a glorified homeless shelter.
Actually, it's nice when you bring word peace. Peace, I mean, if you think about it, it means a lot to us, right? When you are in peace, whether it's peace with yourself or with your spouse or with your kids, like we just being in that state, because in that state we are best. We can create,
Yes.
we can do so much, but once that peace
Everything
is not there,
flows with
then it
ease.
just
We are our best, most authentic self.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
everything flows with ease, with peace.
I
Yeah.
see that. Would either of you say that you write for catharsis? Do you use it to solve problems in your life or as a healing modium?
To solve problems, to heal, yeah.
in a way, I would say
In a way,
heal.
it's healing.
Yeah, healing.
It's definitely an outlet. Like for me, some of my pieces are trauma bound. It's an outlet to release the trauma. So I get it off my chest and put it on paper and put it in your ears, and now I'm at peace.
Yeah, I think the bulk of the artists that we talked, especially on verse, but the ones that I run across just in my daily life as a traveling poet, write for catharsis. But the interesting thing was when you were speaking, Elena, about going through talking about love and stuff, I got the feeling like you were writing from a preventative place. You were like looking ahead and saying, this could go stale, and I'm going to try to keep it going by doing this. You were almost like keeping yourself out of trauma. By doing it, or out of. That's what it felt like to me when you were describing, love and saying, what comes next after this when the spark goes out, and we can use poetry and our words to help keep that going. It was almost like you were preparing for it, or making it so it wouldn't happen, influencing your destiny.
No, actually, if I want to be honest, like I'm not gonna go into into a lot of my personal life. I want to keep it to myself, but actually, I feel like in my life, I'm going to be honest, I have not experienced that love that I wanted to experience from a man, And so what I write in my book, that's actually how I see a man treating a woman. Well, I'm not going to say woman, treating me. So basically, the way I wrote so many verses in my poetry, that's how I see a man, like in my eyes, like that's how I want him to treat me. If I cry, he can cry with me. He doesn't have to hold his tears. He can show himself to me openly, and I'll just support him in that. And in my personal life, I haven't seen a lot that I wanted to in my spouse. So, and my writing in my book, it just represents my idea of how my perfect man could be in my eyes, I guess. I don't know, something like that.
It was beautiful. I think, we've done, we did 13 episodes in season 1. This is the 4th one in season 2. And I can't remember a time that poets were in here recording their poetry. Rachel, the engineer, who is muted right now. But the two of us sat in here, and I think it was at least 2 or 3 times you were reading your poetry. We said, wow, that was really beautiful. And commented that way. And I can't remember a time, not that we haven't heard beautiful work, and we've heard quality work, we have, but there was a tenderness to what you shared with us in the studio today.
Imprint. I saw you last night and felt the shimmer of the mighty darkness all over me, something I cannot describe. I looked up and couldn't even count all the stars up in the sky. You looked at me and said that you preferred my beauty in your mindset. You said I love you more than once. You gave me wings to fly. I felt like angel in the sky. You hugged me tight the way I always wanted you to. I felt your cosmic energy right through. The warmth in your voice gave me a memory that leaves me no choice but to love you wherever and feel your presence in my soul, even if things get out of control. Yeah, love comes in many, many shapes and colors and moods, if I can describe that seriously.
And position.
Well, that's my head was going there. That's another kind of love.
It's just, most definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Most definitely. I had to throw it in because I found myself, when you were in the studio reading your pieces, but they weren't all erotic. You did some really great stuff. One of the pieces, I can't remember the name because I don't take notes.
Okay.
The one you did with the music, really great.
Story time.
Yeah, excellent piece. And then there was pieces where I sat over there and stared at my shoes and hoped I wasn't blushing too hard because I was like, wow.
I definitely
can't wait to hear these.
That's what I was gonna say. I wanna hear your poetry.
We get a little LGBTQ friendly. So I'm part of the community.
Yeah.
So I wrote those. Well, one specifically because I personally don't hear too much erotic lesbian poetry. And the only thing I worried about was like my dad, listening to it.
What he was
but
gonna
otherwise,
hear,
I wrote them with a spouse in mind. That it was influenced. I guess. Yeah.
That's excellent. So pretty much what Elena's saying too is you were writing from a paradigm of this is my ideal scenario.
Yeah. So this is my ideal scenario. This is what I can offer you. Yep, basically that's it.
So she writes personals ads.
Personal ads, yeah. Personal ads, yeah. For some reason, you crept into my dreams. You let me slowly undress you. Lights were dim, smooth jazz was playing in the background. You laid across the bed on your stomach. I got warm mint oil and slowly dripped it down your back. Then spread your ass cheeks and dripped the oil down each cheek twice. Everything seemed to be going in slow motion, but I was enjoying every bit of it. My hands caressing your cheeks. With both hands, I slowly spread the oil down your crack, making sure I massaged around your anus. I then pulled the oil out toward your hips, never taking my hands off you. I began to guide my hands across the top of your voluptuous peach, my fingers meeting at its tips, laying on your spine as if they were getting ready to pray over that ass. My arms still wrapped around your sweet peach, slowly rising, I began to press up your spine with those praying hands. And as my arms lift off you, my tongue finds its way to the bottom of your crack, going at the same pace of my hands, pressing deeply with both. I reach your shoulders and the top of your crack. My tongue begins to press on your clit, never penetrating you, just massaging one more spot on your body. I work my way up your neck, slowly moving back down your shoulders, spreading out both arms, always maintaining 3 points of contact as I work my way back down your spine. I continue thrusting on your clit, subtle kisses on your back, coming back up to your neck, both hands and my tongue pressing deep. You begin to moan, that pussy getting wet, wet. My hands moving from your neck, pressing under your shoulder blades, coming down the sides of your body to your waist, the sound of your moaning drowning out the smooth jazz, still thrusting on your clit. Your legs spread wide enough for me to see that juicy pussy. My hands meeting back at your lower back, pressing at the top of your ass, spreading your cheeks again, working my way to your hips. I massage both thighs. Thrusting slowly, I lift your legs up, running my fingertips from your right ankle, up your leg, across your butt, briefly stopping at the crack of your ass, down towards your left cheek. My fingers move until they reach my hands at your left ankle, still thrusting slowly on your clit, never penetrating your body, always keeping 3 points of contact.
Let me ask you another creative process question. I'll start with Elena, and then we'll go to Sugar. What does your creative rhythm look like when it's flowing well?
Well, to me, it's my rhythm. Like, I will describe to you. Like a couple of days ago, I woke up and I didn't feel like myself. I felt like, oh, something is missing today. Like, oh, how should I like start my day? And my rhythm of writing, if I can explain that. So I just found some really good, nice music, and I just took my pen, took my paper, closed my eyes, and I just imagined myself in this beautiful place, which I usually go to in my mind. And usually it's a blue lake, nice green grass around it, and a white horse standing by the tree. And I'm sitting by that tree and writing something. That's my place that I go to. I just connect within myself that way. And I just start writing.
I was saying, what's the title of your book?
The Mind of a Romantic.
Okay. You are a true romantic.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
True
It
romantic.
just jumps right out.
I was going there. I appreciate you grabbing it.
Sip. I want to see beyond this world. I want to feel how everything is wonderful and swirled. The beauty of flying butterfly and the sound of a bird that's soaring so high. The soothing sound of summer wind. The flowing river with ocean hint. The mesmerizing and fluffy cloud with a baby blue color in the background. The sound of a honeybee. I wonder without it, where would we be? The process of pollination deserves a complete admiration. The magic of each morning where you can see sunrise and try to memorize, because the signature of that day might not repeat itself same way. So basically, when I'm in that state, it's very special, you know. And then when I'm in that specific state, like words, they just come to me. Because a lot of times as writers, we know you actually have to think. You really have to put a lot. But then sometimes words, they just flow from God, I guess, you know, or creator, or whatever you want to call it. Like if you believe in God, I do. Personally, I do, but I do not believe in that type of God who is like, I do not fear my God. Even though I make mistakes, I'm a human being, you know, I will make mistakes. I've made them, but my God, who I believe in, he is not a punisher, you know, like he's actually the God who can teach me a thing or two. Beautiful. And kind of rise above everything, you know. And if you don't mind, can I share how I came about with the cover?
Please. Cover? While we're talking about it, go ahead, please.
Yeah, since I started talking about God, so basically my daughter, she was done with every illustration in our book, and then my publisher, he called me and he said, so let me help you with the cover. Just give me your ideas and we'll just create the image. And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. But then, actually, he called me after that, yes. So a couple of days before my publisher called me. So I kind of took a nap, maybe like for 5 minutes. And before that, like when I talk to God, usually I don't say, I pray. Like to me, God he's my father. So I can just talk to him anytime. I don't have to kneel, you know, I can keep...
It's not a formal process.
Yeah. Like he's always on my mind or in my mind. So before I went and took that nap, I kind of said, let's call a prayer, you know, or conversation. And I said to him, God, you know that I've made so many mistakes in my life. We're all humans, you know, we're going to make those mistakes. But for some reason, I feel like I don't want to be that person who is thinking about, oh my gosh, my mistakes, and like, what do I do? Now I'm going to be like punished by God. A lot of Christians think that way. But I kind of said my prayer and I said, like, whatever I've done in my life, those were mistakes, but I still like love life so much. Like I want to thrive. And I just took a nap. And actually I had a dream, like I walked into like white room and it was snowing. Like snowing everywhere, but it wasn't a snow like we tend to see here on Earth. It was like some like magical snow that I've never seen before. And I saw so many bird cages and everything was white. Bird cages, snow, room, everything. And I was just standing in the middle and looking and thinking like, what does it mean? And then something pushed me towards each cage and I started opening and birds started flying from those cages and they were white and pretty. And I woke up. And then I came home in the evening and that's when my publisher called me and he said, you know, let's talk about cover. I said, I will let you know. And then that evening I talked to my daughter and I said, you know what, I had like such a cool dream or vision, whatever you call it. And I talked to her and she's like, Mom, you know what, that is your cover. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, that's the cover for your book. And so as you can see on my cover, I have cages. I have lots of birds, you know. Yeah. And so the interpretation that my daughter and I came up with is basically what my cover represents. The cage, it represents our mind. Because in our mind, sometimes we can be so like uptight. And if we want to go to specific places in our mind, we just not allow ourselves. We're just afraid. We just, yeah. So we have to open up and be free, you know. So basically, cage on the cover of my book, it represents your brain, your mind, and the birds, they represent your spirit. So be open to the idea to love someone no matter what. I mean, yes, there are going to be tough times. So what? You're going to grow from it, you know? So just be open to something beautiful, something that can teach you, show you the way, you know. And I think God showed me that dream, you know, because I did had a conversation before I went to take that nap, and he showed me, this is like, you're free, you can do whatever you want, just don't be in that cage, don't put your mind into that cage, just be free, fly away, my daughter, you know.
Definitely.
So that's how
I encourage all of the Verse listeners here, The Mind of a Romantic, it's out on Amazon.com, you can go out there and check that out. Elena Zubanov and Christina Puzin. Sugar, same question. What does your creative rhythm look like when it's flowing well?
when it's flowing well, it looks like neo soul is the best way I could.
Nice.
It's the best way I could describe it. Even when I'm writing from a spot of, we mentioned the trauma, I heard a beat, a rhythm, and it was the heartbeat. It felt like that moment my heart was racing during that traumatic situation. So it triggered that specific event, and I immediately wrote to that beat, that tempo in my heart. And so even when I'm not physically hearing something, there's something that always triggers that rhythm in my heart and my soul to write, and I write to that pace. And even when I, like Elena said, do something that is romantic, it's always what a person, or if I feel for a person, that rhythm that they caused in my heart, or that it made me feel.
Yeah, the piece that you did for us in the studio is definite. You can feel the heartbeat of the music going through the entire piece as she performs it. It's definitely pretty cool.
I'm going to take you back to like 32, 33 years ago. I was about 6, 7 years old. Sitting in the kitchen table, it's just me and Big Bro. My daddy's in the kitchen hiding behind the back door. Fried chicken and sweet rice for dinner. Daddy's love never felt cold. Daddy whispers, "Shh, I'm trying to scare mommy." Mission accomplished. Daddy turned to a beast on mommy. The knob turns and mommy steps through the door. This was the first day I began to fear my father. Man turned to a beast. He grabbed and slanged my mama. Dragged her down the hall by her hair. He kicked her even harder. The only memory of my childhood before the age of 11. This ain't a figment of my imagination, baby. This is my life. The Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Rest in heaven, mama. True story.
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to qualify this by saying, once you're on Versed, you're part of the Versed family. You can come back, pop into the studio, say hi. If you know we're recording, or grab us on the street, help Paul Savvy Magoo get in the car. whatever it is.
Always
your family. You're
Grab a new outfit, right?
Right.
Say,
Wow.
So
I'm in fashion.
Well, we're going to get some more into that. We're definitely going to get some more into that. But last season, same episode as you guys are in, episode 4. You guys perform around Rockford area. Maisie Knox.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maisie does a poem called Mad. We liked it so much that we made it a segment on the show. And essentially what the poem is about is, you're in the shower and a verse comes to you, kind of like what you were just mentioning. It comes to you and you write it down. What happens when you can't write it down, right?
Yeah.
So my question for you both, I'm going to start with you, Sugar, and then go to Elena, is what makes you mad?
So Maisie's poems really focuses on the things that frustrate you in the creative process, in writing. So that's the type of mad she was
Okay.
talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
So
Okay, yeah.
Not in
what-
general, but it's
Yeah,
like
what
when you...
in the creative process, there's got to be something that frustrates you.
Oh, forgetting.
Yeah.
So, forgetfulness, which I am a forgetful person. And, everything is inspiration. I've been a passenger in the car and there was a whole nother lane open, yet we're riding behind 50 cars. And that inspired me to write a piece, because why didn't we take the other lane? Like, it's open.
I can't even tell you what that inspired me to do because I don't know if the statute of limitations has expired.
Exactly. But to come up with, or just, have an idea of a perfect piece and then forget what the heck you want to write about.
Yeah.
Like that freshman.
What about you?
Yeah, when I'm writing something, and I like when, my poetry rhymes. And since English is my second language, I have to actually read a lot. I have to explore a lot. And what makes me mad in my creative process, if I don't find words that are rhyming.
Right.
So basically I have to spend extra time on that. Searching for it.
I feel that one. My best friend in that endeavor is Word Hippo. It's an app, and you can be synonyms, antonyms, rhymes, all of that stuff is in there. And that, if I can't find it there, I get angry. But I do understand where you're coming from. I started recently trying to incorporate some French into some of the pieces that I was doing, and it's amazing. The words words are in different languages are structured different. So something that rhymes with something in English, a totally different word or connotation, you're going to have a totally different feel. And I find there's beauty to be unlocked in poetry by being multilingual in a piece.
One thing that I want to add, my first language is Russian language, right? So I started learning English in my early 20s. So it's one thing to start understanding, to speak, but actually you have to feel the language. And it's actually like very hard step that you have to learn.
Right.
So I would say I really started feeling English in my early 30s. Even though I understood people, I learned how to say
Fluent.
yeah,
Right.
but to have that feeling of the language and especially write poetry and try to people relate to you, that's actually very, very difficult task actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So
You know.
what language do you dream in?
you know what? I do not have a language. I just do.
I've driven Technicolor.
No. But I'm the person who's like very touchy, very hearty, like, and I feel like my dreams, they do not have a language.
Interesting.
They just have a feeling that is within me,
I'm very touchy too.
and I feel like if you have that type of soul, you don't have to have a language. It's just there. And plus, let me ask you, like, if we were created by one God, one Father, we must have one language somehow. And we're not talking about physical language. It's just something within us.
Yeah.
Some seed that he just put in us. And we might have not just even discovered yet how we all related.
Yeah.
We just have yet to discover that.
Or we're not capable of it yet.
Yeah.
We haven't
Yeah.
evolved
Yeah.
as an organism. I know there's people out there who will say that language is mathematics.
Of course.
And no matter what language everybody recognizes anger, but love
Yeah.
is that one universal language
Right.
that everybody can
For sure.
understand.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't understand you.
You felt me. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
felt
felt the energy,
where I was
the
coming
energy in
from.
between. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the love.
Yeah.
I talk about energy. I love energy. I know I'm not going to go too far, but the thing
Chakras.
is, and
Everything
just
is
the way that it
energy
works.
around
If
us.
I had a tuning fork in my hand, 440 hertz,
Mm-hmm.
and Rachel, the engineer across the room, had a tuning fork in her hand that was tuned to the same frequency, and I hit this one, that one would vibrate. If they didn't match, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I believe what you're saying. Maybe we're just not capable of humans of understanding or receiving. We don't have the proper antenna equipment, something like that, to where we can get it. But I believe you're right. I think that eventually maybe we progress to the point where we can just think like that.
When it comes to life, like I want to be different in a way, like I know like I have to have a house, I have to have a car, basic, to survive on this planet Earth. But I always felt like there's so much more than that. There's
Right.
like so much more.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if you bought a car yesterday, 2026, and month goes by, a year, you're not going to look at that car the same. It's just a car. It's not going to have same meaning. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything materialistic, the house, it's nice to have a nice car. Yeah, but personally, I always search for, there's something more than a car or more than a house. There's something inside of me just bursting to get out there. Like I always search for something higher than a car or a house, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
Have
I
you
don't
seen
know.
my Honda, by the way?
No.
300, how many thousand miles?
So
I
when I
haven't.
pulled into Rockford for this round of recording, I think it's at like 351.
So this Honda is, to me, the equivalent of a Weber grill or a Zippo lighter. It's one of those eternal designs that will never go out of style, never be in style, and always work.
So one of my favorite things to do on the show, influences that are not writers. I'm going to start with you, Elena, because I'm guessing you're probably going to go toward fashion with this, or a designer or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not psychic. If I was, probably wouldn't be.
More power to you.
Yeah,
Right.
you're doing something else.
I don't even know where to go with
numbers.
that. I don't even know where to go with that. I have like 700 jokes ready for this season, and I couldn't
They're all
find them.
gone.
Yeah, they were gone. Show number one. Anyway, talk a little bit about influences on your art or your creative process that are not writers.
Yeah, definitely fashion design. Yeah. I told Paul that. Okay,
You're going to remember that I just told
Can
that
you imagine?
story.
I forgot. Well, that's interesting.
I have not forgotten. It was a great moment.
Sugar?
Just,
How about you?
yeah, fashion for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I think I may have like some form of ADHD because everything influences me. But carpentry, I could build a house from the ground up, literally, and
Yeah.
I have.
Serious.
Yeah,
Wow.
I have. I remodel. You know,
what
and
aren't you skilled in? That's amazing. You have so many skills.
What I'm probably not skilled in heterosexuality. Probably.
Well, that's not a requirement.
No.
Maybe that. But no, I strive to be just like a good person as a whole, and God has blessed me to be great at everything I do. If I learn it, I do it at my best, and then I figure out how to do something else because I get bored quick.
Interesting. So before I became I say a full-time writer, but I call it abusing the English language professionally in 2020. My vocation was construction.
That's
Toward
nice.
the end, it was remodeling after mold, water, and fire and doing remediation work. So my question for you is, what's your favorite thing to build?
I don't know, just framing out rooms.
It's satisfying, right?
It is.
The
It's satisfying.
geometrics, yeah.
Yep. Framing out rooms, the whole framing process. Not too far from here, I have a limestone house, historic home. And I saw on Pinterest this hidden staircase in the kitchen island. So I did it.
No.
Nice.
Yeah, we moved the old staircase that was in the kitchen, and I put it directly in the middle of the kitchen in an island that's 7 by 3.5. Well, I'm sorry, no. Yeah, 3.5 feet. You're able to slide the whole top of the island over and go down into the basement.
Wait a minute. We are talking, you put a
Interesting.
secret passage
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a house.
And the kitchen island.
Wait a minute. Bruce Wayne needs one of those.
In the
Yes.
kitchen island. That's how you get to the basement. Yeah, that's how you get to the basement.
So wait, that's not the end of her DIY self.
No.
I've got to out you here. She's all about food,
Yes,
and she's got a food truck.
I
Oh.
do.
She bought a vintage truck. She showed me the pictures, and she rehabbed it herself.
I did.
Nice.
And it's going to hit the road this summer.
This summer.
What are you gonna?
This
What kind
summer.
of food you gonna have?
So we have a southern style, but it's with a spin because we do sweet and savory. My specialty is shrimp and grits. A lot of people like a savory grit. Mine is kind of sweet. That's how my mom would make it. So anywhere I go, I try to take a little cooking class here or there, you know, to learn the culture.
When you say we, it's gonna be you and your daughter. Or,
So originally it was supposed to be for the kids, me, my daughter, the guy kids, the cousins, like the kids flaked out. So it's me.
Funny, when you talk soul food, they were like, "Yeah, we're in," and then you're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, but you got to cook and clean the
Yeah,
truck."
but
And
you
they're
got to
like,
do
"Yeah,
it.
Not so much.
So they come and get the food and eat it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
but
That's my
you know,
version of
they try to collect the money and put it in their pockets. But yeah, but no. So mostly it's been me and my ex, and she's a beautiful person, and her nephew helped me build it out. So it's just been us, and sometimes I'll have a family member or two.
So can I take
and
this
to
back?
him.
What we've just talked about, and the passion we've just talked about, and the capabilities we've just talked about. Now let's turn that to writing verse, to poetry. So how does it apply there? How do the things we've just talked about, the processes, you talk about the love of framing a room. You know, you talk about the love of designing and fashion.
Yeah,
Now, do you apply that same type of love to your writing?
absolutely. Absolutely. When you write, I think it comes from soul and spirit. I don't know, for me, when I first put it down, it's like, okay, this is perfect. You look at it and see if you have to rewrite it. And half the time you don't want to, but you know it has to be structured just so the person that's listening to it, and I always say you have to bless their ears, so you have to caress their ears. Because it has to definitely resonate with the person that's listening to it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's a great segue. We're going to come up on the common thread. You guys been thinking about that since I brought it up in the beginning? Mm-hmm. But you want to take a guess, Paul?
Okay, I'm just going to go people who live with passion.
I mean, again, you're close. You're close. You're close like the other day when you guessed hat. You're close.
Okay.
I'm going to say you're close. How about you? You take a guess, Sugar?
I was kind of like Paul here, passion or love. Like
You got it. Love.
Yeah,
love is
love.
what it is.
There it
Love.
is.
Love is
it.
what it is. I knew it was going to happen. I was sitting here and I was thinking, this is definitely going to come out because we said love no less than like 77
Yeah.
times.
Right.
Many
Yeah.
times for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I think Rachel's been keeping a tally.
She's on mute. 56. 56. 50.
All right, there we go.
56.
Yeah. Yeah,
56.
but definitely, yeah, love, like how I wrote in one of my poetries, love conquers all, for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But we just have to let it, we
Yeah.
just cannot be boxed in, we just have to let
Absolutely.
it
Or
open,
give
let
in
it
to the other
flow.
side.
Yeah.
So
It's what we need right now in America.
I agree with
A
that.
whole lot of love.
wake up, look around you and see the beauty of this world, even though sometimes it can be so cold. Have you ever tried to taste the raindrop? Have you ever tried to see, no, really see and feel that everything around you, my dear, is very real? The wind brushes against your skin. The ocean water is blue and clean. The grains of sand are radiant with gold. They never allow you to get cold. The sun goddess is so generous to us. She sends her golden rays to the ungrateful human race.
So the final thing that we do here is called the last word. The floor is yours. You can say whatever you want to verse listeners or anybody in general. I start with Elena, and then we'll go to Sugar after that. So the last word to Elena Zubanov.
Right now, for some reason, I just remember my friend about 7 years ago. I've met a person and we did have a pretty cool relationship, and I remember every time when we had a gathering, she would and if somebody had to say a toast, she's like, she should be the one. She will know what to say. I'm like, don't put me on the spot like that, But she's like, no, but she's like, no, please say something. So I don't know, it just kind of stayed with me. My last word would be like what you, Sugar, said earlier. You said just be true to yourself. I think it is a key to a lot of our problems, because a lot of times we're just trying to be somebody that we're not, because we're trying to please someone. It could be even yourself, so to speak, meaning I want to be this person in front of that person, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say these words, or I'm just gonna act this way. But at the end, it's not going to work out anyway. You might not learn it today. It might work for a while. And I'm talking again from personal experience. Just be true to yourself. Just be honest with yourself. Just show kindness to another person. It could be just one or two. It doesn't have to be a whole wide world. Just start with one person. And first, of course, you have to start with yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Because the way you treat yourself, that's how you're gonna treat everybody else.
True.
You have to love yourself, and I'm still learning actually to love myself fully. The way I look, the way I speak, the way I dress, I still have to love everything about myself. Because if I don't, then how I'm gonna expect Sugar to like me, not love me, but even like me, as a
Right.
person. Last word: when you look at the mirror, you have to really, really like and love who you see in the mirror. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems. So that's my last word.
That was
Love
good.
yourself. Just love yourself no matter what. And every morning when you wake up, before even you're gonna start having breakfast or brushing your teeth, look in the mirror and say, I love you.
Yeah.
I love what you've become. And
Perfect.
if you have done any mistakes or anything, don't worry. You'll get where you need. Just learn from it and move on. Everything starts within yourself.
Perfect.
So,
Yes.
Sugar, last word.
That was perfect, Elena, and of course I would go with that. I'm just gonna piggyback of it. When you say I love myself, I love you. When you're looking in the mirror, remember that you're worthy of grace and forgiveness. Forgive yourself, and then what I love to tell everybody I come across is remember that your life is valuable, you're worth living, and just give it your best. Wake up for the next day and try again. Don't give up. That's it.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Excellent. Ladies, Elena Zubanov and Sugar, thank you so much for coming on Verse. Like I said before, you're now part of the Versed family. You are
Thank you.
alumni. You can pop your head in the door whenever we're here. You're with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You never
for-
take that away. Oh, you're
Yeah.
definitely welcome. So, The Mind of a Romantic from Elena Zubanov and Christina
Puzin.
sorry, is available on Amazon.com. Thanks, both of my guests today, from the basement of the Mendelssohn Center for the Performing Arts in Rockford, Illinois, for Savvy Magoo,
Yes.
Yes.
cultural icon, Rachel the engineer, and the
Yes.
entire production team here at Verse, which is basically one other guy, right?
Yeah.
Right. Who lets us in and out. And WBOM Full Service Radio. I am James Hamilton, signing off until next time. Peace!